Welcome back to another episode of the Educating the Reckless podcast with your host Apollo PN.
No better Nina.
And this is another
welcome to level 6 of Jumanji.
I like that.
It's not funny, but it's funny. I saw it on Twitter today.
I like that. We're gonna be talking about a whole lot of bullshit. But before we get into the bullshit, let's just recap on what we both been doing.
Yeah.
During this time. So what you been doing? What you been up to, Nina?
So I tried a new food spot this week. Everyone knows about Dav's Hotspot, which is you get it's like good soul food kind of. Well, not kind of, it is. Yeah. But yeah, everyone knows about that spot. It's in Mississauga. So there's this new spot that's a little bit closer to me, like Jane and Lawrence, called Full of Love. It's not new actually, but I've heard about it and people are saying it's better.
I think I seen that ad. But keep on talking.
So people say it's better than Dev. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me try it. So I go and try it. I call it 6 to place my order, okay? And they tell us it's going to take about an hour. So we're like, okay, cool. We'll wait an hour and then head over. So I wait an hour and then we drive over and we get there and they're like, oh, it's still not ready. There's no wings. It's going to be another half an hour for the wings. So we wait half an hour, still not ready. And then it ended up taking 2.5 hours for us to get our food. And it was like, I don't know, man, the place is like super ghetto and it's just yeah, the service was super shit and honestly the food wasn't that great either. Like honestly, Dav's is way better and it's way faster. Although it is a lot further from me, I would definitely go there instead. I've literally only ever waited 15 minutes for Dav's every time I've gone.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
15 minutes that's kind of up there. But no, it's kind of up there.
Compared to this spot, that's amazing.
But yeah, I've only been to Dav's like twice, I think, in my life.
Yeah.
And I went during, I guess, the early parts of it. We're kind of getting a lot of hate for having expensive food and soft cheese. What's it? Mac and cheese and
yeah.
People were complaining a lot during that time, but people were like, it's overpriced and this, that, and the third. But it was good.
It is a little well, not a little, it is a lot expensive, like compared to what I got at this restaurant Full of Love. Like we got 3 meals and it costed as much as my boyfriend's 1 meal at Dav's did because he added lobster at Dav's. So yeah, that was kind of like a good thing, but I don't know, it wasn't as good. But yeah, and then I finally got to watch the movie Parasite, which everyone's been like raving about since it came out. I'm not sure if it's Japanese or Korean. I'm not sure which one it is, but it's made it's one of those kind of films. And it's like, honestly, man, it was like so funny in the first hour and a half. And that's just what I needed after such a heavy week. I'm like, this is hilarious. And then it just took a turn.
Keep talking. I'm just promoting the show.
I was like, what are you doing? So it was so funny. And then it just got super dark and deep, but it's an amazing movie. Honestly, I'm probably going to watch it again. It was really good.
It won an Oscar. It won a few Oscars. Yeah, I was actually, really I was in Banff during the Oscar ceremony, and I was in the girls' cabin that we were working with, and then they were they're having an Oscars party. Yeah. I came in there, they were having a whole bunch of stuff, and we just saw Parasite win a bunch of times.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah.
I still never watched it even after seeing it win, but whatever.
Honestly, you should. You should.
It's all in Korean, no?
Yeah, I thought at first it was kind of bothering me and I didn't really pay attention for the first 10 minutes, but then I started paying attention and I was like, oh, fuck, this is actually really good.
It's a good movie, from what I've heard.
Yeah, what'd you do this week?
This week, I think I did a lot. Well, I didn't do a lot. What did I do this week? Fuck, I forgot.
Well, that's not...
Oh, I like it
new.
Yeah, I'm going back to my old ways.
Yeah.
This week, one thing I can say, you know how I might have mentioned on the podcast, and I mentioned it to you. This other guy, he having some marital problems with his wife, and he ended up not moving in, but staying with us until he gets through his divorce and this, that, and the third. And for a long time now, he was using my washroom. Still, I don't know if he still is, right?
Yeah.
And I came on this podcast a few months ago, and I was just frustrated the fact that this man was disrespecting the place. He didn't really have to do nothing. His feet was kicked up. Didn't have to do nothing. Everything was taken care of for him. It's not even like we're treating him. It's just that he doesn't have to worry about anything. And I came here with frustration saying there's pee on the floor, and I told him that there was he peeing on the floor and stuff like that. And as the
It's not
times
funny. I don't know why I'm laughing.
as the times go on, he continued to disrespect the facilities that I brush my teeth in, I defecate in, and I take a shower in.
Yes, we
And
understand what the bathroom is.
yeah, so yesterday I cleaned it up. I cleaned up spick and span, and I walked downstairs to him because he had his feet kicked up. He don't do goddamn nothing in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Goddamn, I don't know why my mom got him like that. He don't go do a goddamn thing. He's a bum essentially. But I told him I went down to him and was like, hey, bro, starting today, man, it's you and I. We both cleaning up this washroom now. And then I was like, there's no conversation after this. There's no arguing with me. He was like, why don't you just show me? What you talk? I was like, you're a grown ass man. I showed you once. I don't gotta show you nothing. There's no conversation after that. And then since I've been holding in this disrespect for so long, I yelled at him. I was aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling him, if you're not gonna clean it, get the fuck out. And I was like, I never seen you do a goddamn thing in the house. So ain't no conversation, ain't no me talking about no, you're not gonna do it. And he's like, yo, I'll tell your mom. It's like, nah, this is you and me. You got either you gonna clean the washroom or get the fuck out. You know what I mean? And I told him, hey man, from now on, it's you and I using it. So if he went to the point where he's not using the washroom no more to take care of his needs anymore, he'd rather just not even clean anything rather than and rather not clean anything. So he's a fucking bum to me. So, hey man, I'm just saying. So,
Okay.
I exploded.
Let it out.
I exploded. Yeah. I was hoping he would tell my mom. So I was like, what my mom gonna do to me? She can't do shit. What's she gonna try to make an argument with? Like, I'm telling her to do the cleanup.
Yeah.
Like, guy, you don't know what it feels like to walk into a washroom that you take care of, and then the man's disrespecting the shit.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
You know what I mean? And I let that shit go on for way too long. So I let that man know. Mm-hmm. And I've never been on good terms with him after he pissed on the floor. You know what I mean? So no, I'm on God. Like I walk into the house, I only say I don't act like he exists.
Yeah.
And I had to shut him down too. Like he was trying to open up the screen while I was cooking food, talking about the smoking. It's not even smoke. It's just cooking food. Like has aromas, and he's talking about it's polluting his lungs and shit. I'm like, yo, either you go sit down inside the house because you can't open up the blinds because the air conditioning on, or you go sit down by the porch.
Yeah.
I started regulating him. It's at this point, it's like you whole bum. You don't got no say over here. You don't got to do it. He doesn't do a goddamn thing. And what pissed me off today, I think it was yesterday when I did this shit. What pissed me off even more, I seen this man cleaning his car. I'm like, this nigga cleaning his fucking car? And I never seen him take up a broom or nothing inside his house talking about he's cleaning his goddamn car. Yeah, that shit pissed me off even more. So that's just me. I'm a cool guy until I'm not.
Understandably so. I feel your struggles. I understand.
Thank you. So now that we get off our own discretions and things like that, we're going to get into some serious news. A lot of fuckery's been going on since last time we were recording. So for people that are listening,
honestly, sorry, go ahead.
For the people that are listening, we're recording this on Monday. So if anything happens on Tuesday night, don't hold us accountable. Or maybe you can, but whatever.
I was going to say, I was going to say that, like, honestly, the last week scrolling through social media has been super depressing. Like it almost feels like the same feeling I was getting after Kobe and Gianna died, scrolling through Instagram and stuff, is literally the same feeling I'm getting now. Like it's like every single day it's the same thing, and it's like super duper depressing.
It is.
Yeah.
It honestly is. Like right now, from the conversation that we had on that Tuesday that when we recorded our podcast, and me saying that they're going to arrest him or arrest them. I thought they're going to arrest all four, but they got the main guy. And from me saying that I don't know what's going to happen, they were already protesting from that Tuesday anyways. Yeah. But for what it turned out to be into like, this massive riot, it's crazy. But we're going to get to that very shortly. But we still got our homegrown things that we got to take care of, because we have a little bit of update on Houdini because he passed away last week.
Yes.
Unfortunately, to gun violence.
Recorded. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the day
that Tuesday was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, like Apollo said, we're recording this on a Monday. So you guys will hear it on the Wednesday. So that means we won't be getting into anything that happens on Tuesday, unfortunately. But we'll cover it in the next episode. So yeah, you want to talk about this footage of the gunfight that was released?
Yes. So this gun, if you're from like the GTA area or Canada, maybe if you follow any of the GTA blogs, you saw this video of the gunfight of Houdini and the culprit in two different angles possibly. So I saw two angles, and from what the news reporters were saying that they're waiting 40 minutes outside his Airbnb, and it was a targeted shooting. Yes. And in this video, you see Houdini running for his life, essentially, and having his, I guess, his handler with him, firing back at the people that are firing at them. So it was a gunfight. And I seen him run that way and he run that way. And then I think I see another video that, I don't know if a lot of people seen it, but him on the ground, life with the cops trying to resuscitate him and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you don't got the stomach for it, it's not something that you want to watch. They blacked out a lot of this stuff, so you saw a lot of honest, innocent people in harm's way, essentially too. A lot of innocent people minding their business, trying to enjoy a nice day out in Toronto, faced with near death from a gunfight between criminals and wanting to kill a rapper.
Yeah. I didn't watch the video just because I don't know, I can never really watch these kind of videos and stuff. I did see a clip of him lying down before the cops resuscitated him. I saw the clip of him lying down and the other guy crawling. But that's all I saw. I didn't really watch anything else related to it.
They also released a photo of the minor that was with him.
Yeah.
And it's on a Canadian warrant,
Canada-wide warrant.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
Yeah.
So he's 17 years old, and I'm talking to my brother at the time. I'm like, 17, bro? What's a 17-year-old doing with this 21-year-old man? Like this kid should be like focusing on graduating and shit like that. But that's unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely super unfortunate. And it's like you're on a whole Canada-wide warrant. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's crazy. It's super crazy.
And then follow after that same day, or was it the Wednesday? I actually noticed the rapper's sister. He goes by the name Twy, and his sister. Am I saying his name? Regis?
Yeah. Wait, we forgot to. Sorry, there's one more thing we skipped over. Sorry, my bad. The Toronto Sun put up an article.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So there was an article with a headline, "Who made Houdini disappear?" or something along the lines of that. And a lot of people were very upset over this, which is understandable. But my thing is, and my sister and I spoke about this as well, is like we weren't surprised because the Toronto Sun has been known to be like an alt-right kind of newspaper. Like you learn about what newspapers follow, what kind of ethics and morals when it comes to politics and stuff when you're in school or when you're studying communications or whatever it is, or journalism and stuff. So I really wasn't surprised. I don't know why people were like, I mean, I get it, it's disrespectful, but I don't know why people were that upset over it. Like, what more do you really expect from them being an alt-right newspaper? I didn't understand that.
Oh yeah, after Houdini passed, like you got to see a lot of people's ignorance, not even like publication, just but the general public ignorance behind everything. Because funny enough is when he passed, I got to see more videos just peeking on the reason, not the reason why he passed, but what he was involved in, and a lot of the disrespecting of other fractions and gangs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are very ignorant to that, which I understand. Like if you're not into it, why would you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But people from when you start to see like the YouTube videos and people speaking on different disrespectful hand signs he's putting inside the music videos or choruses that are disrespecting another person that is dead and stuff like that, and you get to see like that really ruffles some feathers. So his passing wasn't jealousy and envy.
It was that. Yeah, it was literally what you're saying right now. Yeah.
It was disrespect.
And it was claiming neighborhoods you weren't from, and speaking on dead people and things like that.
It was disrespect. So. It was clear disrespect.
Yeah, not that means he should have died, but that is like, most people who are aware of that know that that's the reason. It wasn't a jealousy thing. That was literally the reason.
Come on, man. Like, you know what jealousy is like someone trying to, like, knock on wood, trying to take out, like, you know, the good people over at For Your Entertainment just because they're popping.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
jealousy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. But that this Toronto Sun, you know, I looked at it. Me being a person of looking at
Black.
things. No, come on, man. I looked at it. I looked at the headline. I was like, that's a witty headline.
Oh, I get it. I
good
thought you were
headline.
trying to say person of color.
Yeah.
Like I was gonna say, why don't
No.
you just say black? I get what you're saying. I do get
I
what
was
you're
like, yeah, that's a good headline.
disrespectful, but I get
Disrespect.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I
But
agree.
yeah, I looked at it and it was like, man, uh, not even say unfortunate, but like it's crazy how full circle things go, right? It's like the
Mm-hmm.
man who had disrespected, you know, dead people is being disrespected
Disrespected.
by
That's
like people.
true.
It's great irony. It's like, boy, poetic justice. Is that what you call it?
Sure. I don't know what you call it, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, R.I.P. that man.
Yes.
He had a potential of going big. And then after that, we had a woman, Regis, right?
Yeah, that's her name. Yeah.
Her brother is Twy. I had interviewed him a few whiles ago, and
I thought that was her cousin. He kept saying this is my cousin.
that's because I thought that was his brother. Um, Nonetheless, that's his family.
Related. Yeah.
Yeah. When I saw the video pop up out of just on my timeline saying that look at the Toronto cops has done, you know, pushed my family off the balcony.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, say allegedly. Uh, I didn't understand where this was coming from. It was just there's just way too much barbarity. We're talking about Houdini had passed, and then, you know, George Floyd has passed, and it's like, what's going on? And then in the GTA, Toronto specifically, you're talking about, you know, another situation where police allegedly pushed this young woman off the balcony due
Mm-hmm.
to being called over some mental illness by her family because just wanted to handle something.
Yeah, they were saying the mom was saying that she was trying to get her to go to CAMH since the day before.
Yeah.
So they were trying to get the police to take her to CAMH since the day before, and then that day, I guess, as well.
I really don't know what to say.
That's what I was gonna say.
I don't know what to say. Like,
It's very, yeah, it's a lot, and it's like a lot of, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest with you.
Honestly, it's not.
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just laughing because we're both like speechless.
I really don't know what to say. Like, I looked at it, it's like a lot of the stuff that's been happening, I really don't know what to say. Like, there's because think about it. When we first started this podcast, we started talking about race. We had, you know, and even before the podcast, me and Ada O on the show, we were talking about race for like a good straight 3-4 years. Just solid, just conversations always led to race. Us doing race, we talked about like rape culture and all of that. We talking about this. It's like we've spoken about this so much. It's like
we run out of words.
Yeah, it's at this point. It's like we've spoken about it so much, and just police and stuff like that, and just gangs and stuff like that. It's like we do this.
Yeah.
Someone had. I might be detouring a little bit, but someone had hit me up during this week, and they were like, "I'm surprised you're not saying anything," and I told her. I spoke on this on the podcast. Even inside the DMs, it's like, when are you going to tackle what we're having going on in the community? I spoke on it in the podcast. We do this.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And I'm not gonna like, you know, try to be angry if, you know, some people may listen to like the first 15 minutes of the podcast and be like, all right, I'm checking out. All right, that's cool. I can't be mad at you for that. You checked it out. We couldn't hold your attention.
But then don't come and ask us why we didn't talk about something if you didn't actually listen the whole time. That's like the comment on our thing about Aisha Curry as well. The guy was going off. He said something and I read it and I'm like, bro, we fully talked about that, but whatever.
We talk about
like, don't just watch the clips and think that you got everything from there.
Yeah.
Like, you need to listen to the actual episode and hear what we fully have to say.
So when someone told me, it was like, when you usually vocal about everything, I was like, I told her, I have a platform.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about everything that's going on. Like, what do
And
you mean I'm not vocal?
yeah, and the
And I got
reason
another platform that I post things on.
exactly. And the reason I didn't post any of the clips from our conversation about George last week was specifically because it had just happened and we didn't get into it, like into the nitty gritty, like we will this week. Like we didn't get to actually speak and educate the people in terms of what our views and opinions are on it and what's really going down over there. So I didn't think like honestly our post for George would have been like lacking substance altogether.
Exactly.
So
And
yeah.
I didn't even want to post on my stories. Like I
All we did was say George Floyd was murdered by the police, blah blah blah, whatever, told the story. That's
yeah.
it. We're disappointed. Cool. That's it. Because that's all we
Yeah.
had to go off of. We didn't know it was going to turn into this huge thing.
And at the time when at the time that happened, I mean, yeah, let's just we could skip straight to that conversation because I mean, just give a quick overview of what happened in Toronto. There was a march during the weekend for Regis as well, just the whole police brutality, and as well as the George Floyd. They merged it into one homegrown things, and then the mayor of Toronto had tweeted in light of that situation and stuff like that. But let's get into the social issues because this is what's really important going on right now.
Yeah. So obviously, we know what happened with George. We've seen the aftermath.
Yeah, exactly. So, but before we go any further, in terms of what happened to George Floyd, right? I did not know the whole story. So I watched the video. I watched the videos of the reporter reporting on that video that went viral of this man having a cop kneel on his or put a knee to the back of his nape of his neck and essentially suffocate him, right? But I did not know why this man was arrested, right? I did not know why he was arrested. I just looked at the video and I was like, whatever he did, he didn't deserve that type of treatment because it wasn't warranted.
And it's white. Let's just remind the people that there is white people out here who literally shot up a church and killed 9 people and shoot up schools and kill 23 people and get arrested normally and just get put to jail and they're alive.
Exactly. This is true. This is true.
So don't say anything. Sorry. So don't say anything like, oh, he's using a fake $20 bill or blah, blah, blah. Like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah. So apparently it wasn't fake.
Yeah. That's what I found out too today. I found that out today or yesterday, I heard. It wasn't even fake.
So, okay. So I was talking to my friend about this. He lives in LA. That's my man, Terrell T. Him and I were just having a conversation about this and some other things. And I was like, yo, so this man's life was taken, or was the rolling ball or the snowball effect of this man's life being eventually taken was because of this cashier's incompetence? That's
what I'm saying. Imagine, I want to know, I want to speak to this store owner and see, like, and understand what the fuck they were really thinking. Like, how do you literally caused a man to die over something that wasn't even true?
And for the cops to come there and put this man in handcuffs for what?
And beat him up inside the car. Did you see that as well?
I didn't see that. I heard that as well.
I saw a video of them. They beat him up in the car. They were punching him and beating him up in the car first, and then took him outside and then killed him. Yeah.
So you tell me incompetence is what took this man out? Incompetence in two folds. Because the people in the business didn't know what they were doing, and the cops that arrested him didn't know the fuck they doing as well. How do you not know that? How do you know when a man says he can't breathe?
It's not that they didn't know, it's that they didn't care, and they didn't think, like, they thought it was like he deserved to die simply because of the fact that he was black. Like, that's literally it. They saw him as a threat, and like I saw a lot of descriptions of him as being a gentle giant. And so they saw him, this big tall black guy, like, whose skin color is black. They're afraid of him. And so they thought, might as well, I'm going to exert my power on this guy and prove that I am bigger and more powerful than him. And then it ends up killing him. And
exactly. And so that Tuesday that we did the podcast, they started protesting, right? And that protest turned into rioting and looting, and it popped up not only in Minneapolis, in Atlanta, Dallas, LA, Chicago, New York, etc.
London, Japan, Germany, Denmark,
Yeah.
here, Montreal.
Oh, those French knows how to party. Those French people know how to party. If you guys need brush up on your history. French Revolution, they know they don't come to play. The French riot, the French protest every third of the month. I don't know. The French love this shit. But but yeah, you see like social media everywhere,
Mhm.
just showing people in unison protesting for the injustice of not even of George Floyd, because a lot of people I'm talking, I mean, mainly my guys in the United States, like Terrell, he was saying, George, we've been rioting. Like if you
Mhm.
go, you know about LA, they had the Watts riot in like the 60s, and then they had the Rodney King riot in like 92.
Yeah.
And they burnt that motherfucker down. Like LA don't play. So they have their own element. But in general, like the collective experience as Black people in America, and I'm not even just say America, but there's a
Around the
collective,
world.
yeah, there's a collective experience, a Black experience that Black people have around the world, right? But more specifically, when we're talking about this situation in America, it's just it's fucked
It's
up.
next
So
level, yeah.
they're telling me that George Floyd is not the pinnacle of what they're doing. It's just the last straw that a lot of them feel that they have.
Last straw, and I also feel like the timing of it, because literally the entire world is on pause right now because of the COVID-19. Nobody's working, nobody has school, so everyone actually has time to come together in unity and show their support for
Yeah,
these injustices that have been going on for years. At other times people were working, they couldn't necessarily get off work, like, and certain people have to work to make a living. So
exactly.
like now that these people all have the time, every celebrities are even in on it. Like the biggest celebrities you could think of are in there too.
Yeah,
So I think that's important. And then with these protests happening, it essentially did lead to the arrest of the officer, of only Derek, only the
yeah.
one.
And
Um,
people, oh, I don't want to
yeah, no,
pause.
go ahead.
And people are talking about they got the wrong guy. They're talking about they didn't arrest the right guy. This is someone else. They're trying to pin it on someone else.
Oh, I saw that because of his hairline. I
I
saw
was
that.
like, bro, this is what we do? Conspiracies?
I don't know. Like, I understand. I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think it's a matter of making sure they actually get the right person, to be honest with you. I think it's just because in America they cover that shit up like crazy. So it's like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. But they keep in mind, they didn't arrest him because they thought that what he did was wrong. Because on that first or second night of protests, instead of the police being in the city of Minneapolis and trying to help tone down the looting and stuff, they were all on the front line of of Derek's house. Because they arrested him to keep him safe from everybody on the outside who literally want to fucking kill him. Which I mean, shit, feed him to the dogs. I don't care. Like, I don't really care.
uh, yeah. And they're also talking about his wife is giving divorce. Like, we really give a fuck? Like, I don't
I
really care.
also, I don't know how credible this is, but I also heard that his wife is actually the Asian officer's sister. I don't know how credible that is. Somebody told me that. I don't know if it's true or not, but someone told me that. And they don't have kids together, but he has kids, or she has kids from another marriage. That's what I heard.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is though, so don't quote me on that, but I heard that from somebody.
Block thinking. But I think from when I made my predictions of how this thing was gonna go, I made it off the fact that we've already seen America's already seen a situation exactly like this.
Hmm.
And I feel like as a whole, the justice system wouldn't necessarily blow this over,
Hmm.
right? Just outside looking in. And because we've seen Eric Gardner, right? We've
Hmm.
seen how that was like a complete fumble,
Yeah.
right? And so in this situation, clear video showing us what's going on, and the mayor or the chief of the police department in that department or just the precinct fired all four of them.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, they're correcting their actions. They're taking accountability,
Hmm.
right? So that's when I was like, all right, in this situation, someone's gonna get arrested. You
Hmm.
know, they're going to go to trial and jail times will be served.
Yeah.
Has to. Has to.
I wasn't hopeful on jail time being served. I might be a little more now, just because of the outrage that we're seeing. But I think, I don't know, like, so a lot of people had a problem when it came to the looting during the
Yeah,
riots,
yeah,
myself included in the beginning, I will say, but my opinion has changed. Myself included, I did initially when it came to the protests, whatever, I was fine with the protests. But once the looting of the businesses started, I was sitting there like, oh my God, they're just giving the police another excuse to kill them because they're robbing these businesses, whatever. As I did the show with hashtag, and I heard what Reddy and Solitaire and our guest Lisa Michelle had to say, and they were like, no, who gives a fuck? Like, we've been peacefully protesting forever, and that hasn't gotten us anywhere. That made me reevaluate my thoughts on the looting. And then, as I also began to see that it's not the Black people who are looting, it is undercover cops, number one, and white people. And this is something that I know a lot of other people and people in the Black community might have already known, but I never knew that. Like, I never knew that this, like, when these protests happen, that it's those people who are actually starting the looting to make the Black people look even worse than what the world already perceives them as. So I had no idea that was the case. I have obviously changed my mind on the whole looting. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever you have to do. I also saw a post that said, if you didn't, something along the lines of basically like, you can't tell people how to react to their trauma if you never lived it. And so that also made me kind of just realize, like, at the end of the day, yeah, they're right. They had Colin Kaepernick in the NFL kneeling every single Sunday, and what they do, kick him out. Like, you know what I mean? There's been peaceful examples, and it never did anything. So yeah, I completely changed my mind, and I really, like, go for it. Burn down the cities. I don't care. And someone else said, you can get back the businesses. Businesses have insurance. Those stores have insurance. People's lives, you can't get that back. And it's true. So that's what I feel. I don't know. What did you think about that when you saw it? Like, how did you feel?
uh so the situation, so this, I got different perspectives on things in terms of when white people riot or protest or fight or get angry,
Mm-hmm.
they raise hell and they turn everything to ash,
Mm-hmm.
right? Just remember that.
Yeah.
When white people do it, they're ready to go down with this motherfucker as well.
It's sorry. Yeah, sorry, not to cut you off, but examples are when the Vancouver Canucks didn't win the Stanley Cup, they fucking burned down Vancouver. There was another one from football in Minneapolis or Minnesota or whatever. Like, I saw a bunch of pictures of sports things that they burned down the city for. So it shouldn't be a problem.
That's what
Like,
I said. When white people get angry, they raise hell and turn everything to ash.
yeah.
So let's put that out there for everyone who's listening. But in terms of like tactical things,
Mm-hmm.
from historical standpoints, when we talk about protesting, right, the reason why some may have a more old style protest mentality in terms of what Martin Luther King did with
Mm-hmm.
his people versus what Malcolm X did. Malcolm X was never in the streets. People got to get that understood. Like, he was soapboxing. He was
Mm-hmm.
never in the streets. Like, he was not gang. He was not getting punched in the face by cops. He wasn't with his brothers of the Islam marching and shit like that. He was talking. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he was a good talker. But I'm not trying to discredit him. I'm just saying,
Yeah, yeah,
when I bring this forward. So when MLK was doing what he was doing, his tactic was, we're going to practice a non-violent protest, and we're not going to fight back when we are beaten by the police, because we want to invoke emotion into the general public, the public of America. Seeing us get beaten and not do anything by the police is going to invoke emotion, empathy from the other white, and then humanize us
yeah. Mm-hmm.
into getting us our rights. Right? We're not gonna, at the time, like whenever they were doing this, at the time, the 60s, I believe. At the time when they were doing this, they were not seen as humans, 3/4 of a human being and stuff like that. People thought black people were animals. So fighting back would only prove that black people were animals back in this day when MLK was doing the protesting,
Mm-hmm.
right? And at the time, I heard that he wouldn't allow everyone to protest. He wouldn't allow every Black person to protest, because he knew that in times of like this, people emotional standpoint would not be understood, and they would react in a way that would be unfavorable to the overall movement, right? So that's why certain people weren't allowed to protest, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So moving into 2020, and we're seeing people protest and turn up, you know.
Yeah.
They're saying they there's no point for the peaceful protest. We gotta turn things, we gotta turn up, we gotta destroy things, we gotta let people know how angry we are. And at the same time, it's like there has to be a tactic to it. And I don't feel like every one person has one particular view on how to protest, but what everyone is there collectively is because they want people of Black people essentially to, for all these police injustices and police brutality and every other systematic injustice that's been set in place since the dawn of time in America, they want them shits to be dismantled.
Mm-hmm.
They want to dismantle the system. So I mean, as long as that everyone has the same goal, how they get to that goal is all going to be different.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I'm not mad at the I was even talking to my friend. About the looting. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you want to say something?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, yeah, like I definitely feel like over the week I learned a lot in terms of, I'm always learning when it comes to these injustices, because I've been very vocal about the fact that myself, not being Black, I never knew that this was even a thing that has been happening for years until I heard about Trayvon Martin. That's when I really came to know that this was actually a thing. So I'm always learning when it comes to this, and I'm happy to learn, obviously, because I do stand with the Black community. And so my opinion completely changed since last week. And I think what really resonated with me was, I'm not the one who faced all these years of trauma. So I don't have the right to tell them how they should be protesting and what they should and shouldn't be doing when I'm not the one who was ever in that position. So, yeah.
It's one of those type of things. It's like, I think I saw a video on Twitter, right? And that gave me a clear sign of everyone's there for a collective reason,
Mm-hmm.
but how they go about it is all skewed and it's different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say skewed, it's just different.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this video. In this video, the man was like, tip over the car. And he was like, and the Black guy looked at him in the camera, was like, the fuck you talking about, tip over the car?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, no, we're not gonna destroy anything because it's gonna come back on the Black community and make them look bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what point of the undercover cops is doing. They're making us, the Black community, look bad as if they're savages.
They're playing more on the societal image that's already been portrayed on the Black community as being bad people, and they're playing more on that. There's videos I've seen. Vinny from Jersey Shore, surprisingly, has posted quite a few videos of, there was the one of the Black men guarding the one officer who got separated from the rest of the officers, so they were protecting him from getting beat up by any white people who were inciting violence at these riots. There was the one of the white lady spray painting Black Lives Matter on the Starbucks, and the Black woman confronting her saying, we didn't ask you to do this. And then the one of the Black people blocking anyone from looting the Target. But the media doesn't show you that. They don't want you to see that because they want to continue to play on this image that Black people are bad people. I think one of the videos that also recently resonated with me a lot was the one in Atlanta on, I think it was on CNN, where there was a white girl in her car with, I don't know who, we only see the girl on the passenger side, and a Black couple behind her, and the police come up to the Black couple, start breaking the window. The white girl's just out the window waving like, hey, it's the fucking Macy's Day Parade or whatever, Macy's Day Parade, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And she's just out there waving all excited. And then the Black couple behind her in the car, this is all over curfew, mind you. And she's also out at the same time. And the Black couple in the car behind her is getting the living fuck tased out of them. The car window got broken. They got dragged out. And like, it was just ridiculous. I was like, this is all over curfew. So how come nobody went over to the white people in front of them? I mean, I know why, but like, it was fucking ridiculous. But another thing I kind of just wanted to get into was, I don't know, are you ready to move on to the next question I have?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing I wanted to kind of get into was a lot of people have been very vocal on social media.
Yeah.
And a lot of people
guilt tripping, to be honest. A lot of people have been guilt tripping other people into doing shit, which
that's what I wanted to get into.
I'm like, come on, bro, get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, because
But
a lot of people have been saying, if you don't speak out, then your silence is compliance, et cetera, kind of, in a sense, guilt tripping people. How do you feel about that?
I'm Black, bro. Like, I got you with me, I'm Black. Like, if I don't talk, if I try to disown myself from the Black community any type of way, I will get my nigga wake up call.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, think mine is like I'm trying to say, I'll get my nigga wake up call. Like, if I try to pretend like I'm not Black and I don't see nothing that's going on in the Black community, the other will remind me that I'm Black,
mm-hmm.
right? So I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to force anyone to do any, like, this is my experience. This is my collective experience. It's like, like Dr. Umar is saying, like, why you going to, Malcolm X was telling us, Dr. Umar was telling, why you going to let other people to come into our movement and ask them to help us?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Malcolm X was like, we got to do it on our own. Dr. Umar's talking about, you got to do it on your own. I'm not going to guilt trip you into fucking with me.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
So this is what my thing is I don't think we should be, I'm not Black. I don't think that people should be, or just actually, yeah, there is people like me who are, telling people it's wrong if you don't speak out. So I don't think we should be forcing people to speak out if they don't want to. Because some of these people might not be racist, but they also might not have a clue as to what's been going on and what's currently been going on. And I have an example to back that, a personal example, because I know it is kind of hard to believe, but there are really people out here. I feel like telling people, if you don't speak out, I know you're racist, blah, blah, blah. I feel like it's inciting kind of a fear, like, speak up or you're racist. So some people are just posting shit just to post and prove that they're not racist without actually knowing. Yeah, but truly some people, and then on the other hand, there's truly some people who actually have no idea how deep this is. It's not just George. It's not just Breonna Taylor. It's not just Ahmaud Arbery. It's not just Oscar Grant, Trayvon Martin. Like, it's not just these people. There's so much more from way before that we don't have on video. So for me personally, I kind of see both sides because I have a lot of friends who are Black, including yourself, a lot of my Vibe 105 family, and I have a lot of people who are thoroughly educated in that sense, and that is where I get most of my education on these issues from. But then I also have, living in Woodbridge, I do have a lot of friends who don't necessarily pay attention to what's happening or don't know how deep it really is. They don't understand how deep it really is. I personally also had family members call me asking to explain what's happening and why the world is so up in arms. And again, that kind of goes back to someone like me who didn't know that this was happening until Trayvon Martin. Like, these family members, I can guarantee you, are not racist. They're not older family members. They are my generation. They're not racist, although, yes, we do know that there is deep-rooted racism within the South Asian community towards the Black community. We do know that, and I do acknowledge that. These family members of mine aren't. They simply live under a rock. They literally don't even know when the latest, when Drake's latest album drops. They don't know till a week later. So these people, I think, there's people who came to me and asked these questions, and we're trying to just get more information. And one person even said to me, don't you think this happens to ghetto white people too? But some people have really, honestly and truly never experienced any sort of racism in their life and have no idea how powerful white privilege really is. That person, no idea how powerful white privilege really is.
Whatever that white person that they might claim as ghetto, they're not facing
exactly
racism. They're facing classism.
Exactly. So I think, this kind of brings me to my next question in terms of, what advice do you have for those? I think this is a really important thing, at least for me in my world, just knowing I have experience to both sides. What advice do you have for those who are afraid of speaking out in fear of saying the wrong thing?
Don't be afraid of in fear of saying the wrong thing. Speak your truth. If you genuinely care, if you genuinely want to, if you're genuine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you are empathetic to what's going on and want to see a better tomorrow, just speak your truth. Don't go about a way where you just try to do all extra shit. Just educate yourself figure out what's going on and then speak your truth and try to educate your friends as best as possible, right? You know, that's what it is. Because the thing is, it's a pattern that, not a pattern, but it's something that you just got to install one at a time. You got to plant the seed inside yourself. You got to be the change you want to see in your world.
Exactly. And I think, you know, for me, what it was is once I heard this comment about, oh, don't you think this happens to ghetto white people? And I was literally like, no, what the fuck? Like, literally, no, you literally do not know what white privilege is. Like, you have no idea what that color of your skin literally buys you in this world. So I think for me, the most important thing is I'm glad that person asked me that question. I was able to raise that point to them. And I gave them examples. I ended up sending them like videos online of what it looked like when the white protesters were protesting against COVID, yelling and screaming at police, nothing happening, versus Black people peacefully protesting, getting tear gas and rubber bullets shot at them. So I'm glad that that question was asked. So my whole thing is advice to people who are afraid of speaking out is to ask questions. And to those of us answering questions, try not to get frustrated with people for asking questions that you might think are stupid, such as that one I just said, or that are common knowledge. This is why I feel it's very important for the Black community to have allies such as myself, because the Black community has every right to be frustrated. Like, don't get me wrong, they have every single right to be frustrated and want to hit their head on a fucking wall when someone says, what the fuck, this has been happening for this long, or I'm sure this happens to white people too. And that's where us allies should be stepping in to help educate these folks as well, because those questions might be further frustrating the Black community. And you know, I think another big thing is mental health of the Black community at this point in time, constantly seeing people like you getting killed on TV and then having people ask you these questions that you're deeming insensitive, which you have every right to feel that way. So I think it's important to have allies who are there to educate as well. And, you know, just to not make the Black community feel like there's literally no hope when people are coming to you with questions like, well, I'm sure it happens to ghetto white people. The last thing I would say to those people is there was a post that recommended things to watch to really understand. And When They See Us was on there. I've personally watched it. I'm pretty sure you've watched it. And I think that's a really good recommendation to really understand, because that's also from an old, like it's from years ago. So I think that will really help people understand that how long it's been happening. Obviously it's been happening since before then, but I think that would really help people as well. So that's my advice to.
And at this time, I'm seeing a lot of in-house fighting amongst Black people themselves, getting at one another over frivolous things. To be honest with you, and it's like, what are we arguing with?
Yeah.
What type of shit is this? And I mean, let's go back to. I mean, I don't know if you ever heard of these guys, Desi Banks, the comedian.
I heard their names, yeah.
Yeah, and B Simone. Desi had put out like the same thing. See, even right now, it's like people are just going off at anything that just doesn't, I guess, hit them right. Right? If it just doesn't sound right, if it doesn't incite like violence or chaos or anything like that, or if it's just stopping the movement, or not even if it's trying to correct the movement, it's like, nah, man, you're not on our side. You get exodus and stuff like that. So I see Desi puts up a picture of just, this is what protesting, this is what looting is, and people are like, nah, bro, you should have just. People are just, I don't know what the fuck is going on with people. People just want to cancel everybody right now. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I say that to say this. I'm also seeing other people like exposing private DMs they have with other people on the internet.
I've seen that, yes.
I'm seeing other people I guess reach for some racism shit. And like I remember she works at Vibe, like Vanessa. I seen her, she had posted something.
Why'd you call her by her name?
It's just on the internet, bro. Like,
I know exactly what you're talking about, because I was reading it yesterday.
I looked at it and I read it and I'm like, damn, where's the racistness? I didn't see goddamn nothing. And then she replied back going like, and everything she replied back was not in the picture that she posted. I'm like, bro, what do we do? And he might be a racist. God, that he might. But that picture that you did not help his case, did not help your case whatsoever. I'm like, he sounds like he might sound like a dickhead or insensitive,
ignorant, yeah,
but like I did not see anything racist. Like you said, Vanessa B for Black. If I was talking about looking in, I might just, is Black your last name?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, but like, yeah, I mean, they're trying to get him the fuck out of here. And I seen another one. Some guy posted some private DMs with some white girl, and she's talking about, oh, that's not my views. I don't know where that came from. Please delete. And then the dude ended up deleting it because she said she was getting like death threats and shit like that. I'm like, she got like 3,000 followers. Ain't nobody trying to like and pretend it's her. Like it was her. It was her.
Yeah.
I looked at her. It was her. But yeah, all in all, it's a lot of people exposing and people just whining. It's like, it's just people in a weird way, in a sad way. It's people are getting pleasure from just purging and just dismantling just people around them. And I think that we're losing. I mean,
losing sight of the bigger picture.
I think so. So it's like people are just like, let's just fuck it. We can't take down the system. Let's take down one another type of shit. Let's take down the next person, the closest person to us.
I don't know if I would say people are losing sight of the bigger picture because of that, because I feel like if they think they can't, like the system is too big to start with, they're going to start taking them down one by one and holding the corporations that hire these people and things like that accountable.
Yeah, I can understand the corporations, but like, hey, bro, like let's get down to corporations.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Let's dismantle corporations. Like you tell me that Becky don't fuck with like N-words. Like I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and every time someone posts like their address or like their information, it's like, what do you want us to do? What do you want to do?
I get what you're saying, because then it's like exposing them. It's like, if they don't fuck with us, why would you want to force them to fuck with us? Because exposing them is kind of like trying to make them backtrack on what they said. It's like, oh,
I'm not looking for enough. I mean,
because you don't want someone to fake fuck with you.
Yeah, it's like if someone's racist. So I remember hearing this in America, like when people are up for racist with you, and you can appreciate that because at least you know who don't fuck with you, right? And for me to say that is like, at least I know who I don't fuck with you. You don't gotta say sorry. If you white, you good.
Yeah.
If you white, you'll be all right. Like you good. Like you can be racist and still maneuver through the North America, at least, or even in Europe, you can maneuver being racist and still have a good living. So it's like me pretending not to be racist. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I hear you.
I mean, I'm not even like, it's not even like I'm mad or anything. Is we speak on race a lot. We speak on everything a lot. And it's like this time everything's just amplified tenfold where everyone is just like angry. Or maybe fake angry, or just want to see like the downfall of their fellow man, even if during this time where we're trying to uplift each other and we shouldn't even try to take down each other. It's like, your brother, what you said was wrong, but we'll forgive you, but our bigger goal is over here. Like none of that kumbaya shit amongst each other. Fuck all of that, taking down everybody.
I think for me the most important thing is educating others at this time. I think that's my kind of key thing, just because like I said, I live both worlds. I kind of play both sides, you know. I have people who literally live the Black experience, and then I have people who have no idea what the Black experience even means. And I think for myself, being in the media, working for an urban radio station that's literally built off of Black culture, I find it a duty of mine to speak out on this injustice, especially what's happening right now. I think it's important for people like myself, who aren't Black, but literally I make a living off of the Black culture. Like literally my paychecks come from the Black culture. And I think it's important for myself as well, being a member of the South Asian community, where there is deep-rooted racism in a lot of the older generations towards the Black community and a lot of stereotypes. It's important for someone like me to speak out and be vocal, and educate others in my community and outside of my community as to what's going on and why it's not okay. Like what's been happening in America and around the world for years and years and years is not okay. So I've taken it upon myself to exercise my voice during this time and just make it known to the South Asian community and the communities around me who aren't aware of all of this to know that this is fucked up.
Exactly. And then we about got like 6 more minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that there's a lot of celebrities that stepped forward and spoke on or use their platforms to speak towards the injustices that are going on and actually co-signing a lot of the anger that people are doing, a lot of anger that people are seeing, and people that like Tory Lanez is like, if you don't understand why people are looting, then you're not understanding the energy, the anger towards the people. But I mean, oftentimes me and my friend from LA, Terrell T, like he's saying like I don't think black people are really looting as much as you
Mm-hmm.
think. Like I think it's just a lot of them might be just finding the opportunity just to see if like once a few doors are cracked open and shit like that, it's like fuck it, I'm here for a protest, but let me hit a lick as well. But
Exactly. Someone even posted something about like it's the teenagers who are the most impressionable. If you jump off a bridge in front of a teenager's going to follow you and think that's like a
yeah,
thrill and exciting thing. So the white people who are starting the looting are essentially playing on that, knowing that
mhm,
they're going to get these young black kids in trouble or make them look worse in the media by starting this looting. And Tory even
yeah,
said today, he said, I don't know what's going, because he's been out there protesting. He said, I don't know
yeah.
what's going on, but the people who are looting at night are not the same people who are there during the
That's
daytime.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Uh, but at the same time, people don't want to hear people say, "Don't stop diluting." It's like, come on, bro, you're not understanding. I, I don't know. I don't know why.
Mhm.
Why there's like a peaceful protest during the day and then at night it gets rowdy.
Mhm.
I'm not quite sure where that energy is coming from.
Yeah.
It's yet to be answered, but it's happening.
So let me ask you this. When do you feel like how do you feel like this is going to end, and when do you feel like this is going to end, these protests and riots that are
I
currently
I,
happening?
I don't. So a question, the conversation I had with my homie Terrell T, like him and I, we deep conversations, and I was like, I ended the conversation by saying, let's check back in 2 months and see what the temperature is like. And he was like, the government might try to give us one of what he called quote unquote just one of those here nigga, you just to kind of like pacify the whole thing. So
Mhm.
I really don't know how it's going to end. I'm saying let's check back in 2 months, because the energy that we have right now is good. We're moving forward in terms
Mhm.
of like we have a strong stance that we want to stand on. But like in 2 months, are we still going to be had the same type of energy in terms of it's the longevity that gets the things done? It's like, yeah, we might be loud and proud and strong now, but like in 2 months, we gotta keep that momentum up just for serious change to happen. I know that even if we're not protesting and stuff like that, we still need to be vocal
Mhm.
in whatever type of capacity in terms. But we can't let the new hot thing, the new hot controversy that pops up in the media cycle, and let that deter us from what is actually going on. Because the media cycle for the last 3 months, we're talking about COVID every 2 minutes, but now they
Mhm.
got this whole injustice stuff that they were able to report. So allow them to continue to report on these injustices as long as possible,
Yeah.
so that more and more people of the general public are aware of what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea what the outcome is really going to be, to be quite honest with you. I'm hoping for the best possible outcome and getting these authorities accountable for their actions and their inexcusable murders. But I honestly don't know, and I honestly don't know when this is going to be over. I think it's going to get a lot worse before
It
it
has to
gets
get
any
worse
better.
before it get. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
We have to hit rock bottom before we able to come back up. So burn this
So,
motherfucker down, man. I mean,
yeah.
it's different in America. It's crazy. In Canada, we have what you call covert racism at times.
Mhm.
So it might be hard to distinguish what's going on, but
Yeah.
this shit's happening.
I saw a really great caption on Instagram. This artist Scotty Four Eyes, you know him.
Yeah,
Um, he posted this caption that really resonated with me, and it was a long caption, but basically it was, he never thought, he's a black man, he never thought he experienced racism in Canada before, never been called the N-word, things like that, but what made him realize when he was walking downtown, I guess the day of the protest, or seeing these videos and things happening, I'm not sure what triggered it, but what made him realize is he's been living to please the rest of society and make the rest of society be safer when it comes to walking on the opposite sidewalk when a white couple walks by, because they're scared of you. There was also another example he gave. I'm going to pull it up right now. Sorry. Because I think it was really like written really well. So give me 1 second here and I'm pulling it up right now. Okay. So he's reflected on every moment he's ever smiled in an elevator, even if he was unhappy, to make sure whoever else was in it felt like he wasn't a threat. Every time he proactively walked off the sidewalk onto the grass to let a white family continue without having to split up to let him pass. The fact that he lives his life in a way that everything he does creates a perception of every person who looks like him. He speaks proper around white people, makes sure not to speak aggressively, and operates low key. For his whole life, he thought this was his personality, but he realized it's how he's trained himself to behave since a child. Because as a Black man, the media has made everyone feel like he's potentially dangerous. It continues on, but I thought that was really powerful in terms of what he written, because there are people who will tell you that they never experienced racism, but if that's how you're living, then you just didn't know it.
Yeah. Like, hey man, I always say this, but I'm gonna end off in this. I always say, hey man, don't cry for no white people, man. don't feel bad for no white man.
Yeah.
Or no white person when they all doing bad. Don't shed no tear for no white man. I don't say that out of no racistness. It's just like, the saying. It's like, yo, you're white, you'll be all right.
Yeah. The one thing I did actually want to end on was in terms of taking action. So petitions, donations, things like that. Yeah. What are some websites you've heard of or that you've donated to or that you've signed petitions on? Do you know of any?
I bought a shirt from Russ. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, that's good. Because he donated that money to the bailout funds.
Yeah, I bought a shirt from Russ. I was like, all right, let me just wear this. Okay. But there's also like the bail funds. I believe Drake posted something like 100K to another bail fund as well.
Yeah.
There's also plenty of movements. There's actually I've been bombarded with so much that I can't even tell you, because I always see there's something new on the internet.
So I guess the first step for people
and stuff like that, for like particular people who've been shot and killed. Like there's a lot of things.
There is a lot. For people who may just be starting out on this journey of becoming woke.
Quick question. I think there's also a fund for Black businesses or something like that. Okay. So, yeah, something like that, for if any business been damaged or in the looting, then there's a fund for that. There's a lot of funds and stuff.
Yeah. So for people who are just starting on this journey of being woke, or people who haven't done this yet, justiceforbigfloyd.com is where you can sign a petition to make sure that these charges are sticking to these officers and they turn into convictions. There's a lot of bailout funds. There's a Toronto bailout. I'm sure if you Google that, you'll be able to find that, where those donations essentially go to bail out protesters. You can obviously also donate to the ones in America. And then there are a few websites you can educate yourself on. I don't currently have them at my fingertips right now, but I thought it might be important just to share some of those so people know, instead of just posting, what else you can actually do.
And then also another one is, if all of this going on right now is too much for you to really want to speak on publicly, you don't got to. Mm-hmm. If you know that you're a good person deep down in your heart, and you know that you don't wish ill upon anyone else, don't let anyone else trick you out that mindset that you have and make you feel like you're guilty of doing anything. It's your life. You get to do what you want. And also, if you're not contributing to if you never contributed to any type of ill will towards any other type of people, and you like to educate yourself on stuff like that, continue living your life the way it is. It's the being part of the problem is, quote unquote, being a part of the problem is being implicit in a lot of the stuff that takes away the humanity from another. That's being a part of the problem. If you're just continue to look at everyone as equal and continue to push the line in terms of equality and justice for injustices, then there's nothing wrong that you're doing. I mean, a lot of people feel guilty to do stuff. You don't got to. Don't make it feel like you are. But and that's just coming from me. I don't speak for all Black people, but that's just coming from me.
That's Apollo's point of view. But and don't be afraid to ask questions. I open myself up, my DMs, I guess, if people do have questions, if there are people listening to this who might not be fully aware as to what's going on and do have questions. No question is a stupid question. I have patience when it comes to this. So yeah, like I said, you guys heard the question I got asked earlier. So yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the podcast. That's our conversation. This is Monday that we're recording this. Just want to say that again. So if anything happens on Tuesday and when we post this stuff on Wednesday and you talk about why didn't you speak on it, it's either you didn't listen to this or we couldn't get to it. It's Monday.
Yeah.
But appreciate everyone that's listening. We'll be back again next week talking about what we usually talk about if things have not changed. If things have changed, the temperature has changed. But, I think we have to speak on this. We speak on, social issues. We make it a topic inside the docket.
Mm-hmm.
So we speak on social stuff, and we speak on race a lot of times, even going back to our very first few and continuing our podcast. But this is what we do here.
Make sure you guys good luck surviving level 6 of Jumanji. I'd like to add some humor to this very heavy episode. I've been recording a lot of heavy episodes since last week. Like, hashtag was really sad.
Yeah, hashtag seems like the type of podcast to take it there.
Really sad. Like, Reddy cried and then I started crying because Reddy was crying and it hurt me to see him that hurt. So yeah, I'm just trying to add some fun. So good luck on level 6 of Jumanji.
Yeah. Hey man, check up on your people, man. I got people in the United States. My friend is good.
Yes. To my people in Baltimore and DC, please be safe. Yeah. That's all I want.
That's what it is. All right. So that's another episode of the Educated and the Reckless podcast, the protest edition. So yeah, I go by the name of Apollo P and
No Better Nina.
We'll be back again next week. All right.
Bye.